Hey guys, welcome back to the Wright State Guardian's podcast, Off the Record. I'm your host and editor-in-chief, Kylee Lairmore.
And I'm your host and social media manager, Macie Allen. And today joining us, we have the Guardian's news reporter, Ashley Hainzer. Ashley, welcome to Off the Record.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So Ashley, tell us a little bit about your position at the Guardian.
I am the news reporter, so essentially, I report on the news, obviously. It's a lot of just kind of digging in deep to things that are going on at Wright State and just kind of putting it together and reporting it for people who need to know.
Yeah. How long have you been the news reporter?
This is my third year, so.
Okay.
So did you start in as the news reporter when you joined the Guardian?
So I started for like a month as a contributing writer, and the position just kind of opened up, and the editor-in-chief at the time's like, I really like your writing, so you apply, and it was pretty much pretty solid from there.
Yeah. All right. What made you want to join the Guardian?
Fascination with it. Journalism's kind of something that runs in the family. My mother, when she was in high school, ran her own newspaper for her high school.
That's so
and
cool.
Yeah, she's kind of always said that, like, I'm definitely the kid that they tell, like, hey, you could be a lawyer. Mm-hmm. You could. So it was always something, and I've always kind of been into, like, news and watching it and stuff like so. When the opportunity presented itself, I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? That'll be fun.
Awesome. And you are what's your major?
I am a young adult adolescent integrated language arts major. So
Yeah,
fancy words.
Yeah, I was like
fancy words for English education.
I know, I was gonna say young adult, and then I was like, there's definitely more words.
Yeah.
Because I've heard you say it before, and
so have I, and I couldn't remember.
Just keep going.
It's definitely a mouthful, but essentially language arts education.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, like, what age range?
When I'm finished with my program, I'll be licensed to teach 7th through 12th grade.
Awesome.
So middle through high.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Has that been something you've always wanted to do? Or?
Yeah, actually. It's kind of always been the plan to kind of go for education. I am very passionate about education, so it's definitely something I've wanted to do.
Yeah, awesome. And you're in your like student teaching right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in my third year teacher placements. To be incredibly short with it, they essentially about third year you go with the Office of Placements and you can sign up for semester placements. Mm-hmm. But next year is when I start my full year long stuff, so that'll be fun.
Awesome. What age are you teaching right now then?
9th graders.
Oh.
9th grade scholarship English, had to remember the word.
Gotcha. Is there one grade right now that you're leaning towards between the 7th or 12th?
I have always said before I started my placements that, like, I was always going to teach upper English. Both of my placements have been 9th graders, and they've also been at completely different kind of school districts. But I found that I really enjoy the 9th graders. They're, like, right at the middle school stage, but they're also, like, in between. So it's, like, you can really teach them things, but they're also really funny.
Yeah. I feel like there's a big fundamental, like, change when you go to 9th grade. Like, it's just leaving middle school definitely has a big impact on a lot of kids, speaking from experience. And you just you get to see that and how they kind of transform into young adults, and you kind of get to be a part of that transformation.
Yeah, that's something I really enjoy doing.
Yeah, well, that's so fun.
Awesome. I'm assuming you teach, like, books.
Yeah.
What's your favorite book you've taught so far?
I haven't worked with a ton of them because the placements are only by semester, and it takes a few weeks. My 9th graders now just got done with Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's a fun one.
And they did these projects where they got to, like, pick out a certain, like, class of characters, so, like, dwarves, wizards, and then they had to do, like, a huge research paper and then present them to the class. That was really fun.
Yeah,
I really
that sounds
enjoyed that.
I am so jealous of that class. We never read anything.
I've
even,
never heard of it.
Half as
Yeah.
I was
interesting
reading
as
To Kill a Mockingbird and like Romeo and Juliet, which are all like they're good
Right.
pieces, but Lord of the Rings was definitely not on my required reading list.
Right.
So, that's crazy.
And
Flex for them.
it was my first time also interacting with it too. So I was like, I gotta quickly read Fellowship of the Ring. So like I sat with an audiobook and did like it was like 24 hours. But it was a good book.
I was gonna say, that's a long one. Usually they try to keep our books like
Shorter.
Yeah, they've been working on it a while. They finally got done with it. They're about
That's something you gotta start like at the beginning of the
Yeah.
It could take a whole semester just to read Lord of the Rings.
I believe they literally started as soon as they got back from winter break.
Yeah.
Now they're doing Animal Farm, which is a classic for classrooms.
I did
that's
read
still
Animal Farm.
a short period of time, I feel.
Yeah, that's really not that long.
Yeah.
Because what month are we in?
February, yeah.
And we had that big snowstorm break and all that.
Yeah, and that gave them more time. They were supposed to be done like
True.
a week ago too, so they just now got done with it.
That's awesome. Animal Farm's a fun one. I could assume that would be a fun one to teach.
Yeah. I'm so excited for it. It's one of my favorites.
I need to reread that one like outside of school. Me reading that, I read in 8th grade. I don't really remember much, and I remember in 8th grade like not picking it up as much, but like everyone always like raves about Animal Farm, especially in our current political climate. So there's
George Orwell's pretty great.
Yeah.
Do you ever get to teach 1984?
I want to read that one too.
I'm not sure if it's on their syllabus. The most I know is that we're going into Animal Farm, and I believe they're starting testing. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if they've read it before or not. I would love to teach it though.
That's fair. So you've read it?
Bits and pieces of it, but from what I've read, it's been pretty good.
Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit more about just like your time at the Guardian in general, because you've been there for a while.
A lot.
You're one of the like longest standing members, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it's me and Britt.
Yeah. So you want to talk a little bit about your like favorite parts? Favorite and least favorite, because it is off the record.
Well, my favorite part would probably have to be the people, for sure. I came into the Guardian kind of being a little quiet, and honestly, I still kind of am in certain situations. I'm not going to pretend like I'm like this loud, boisterous thing, because that's not what that is. But I really love the people especially this year is really good. No shade to like last
previous years,
but I definitely think like I've gotten really accustomed to working with the people who are here, and I love interviewing people. I love getting out there in the community, and that's really fun. So that's a positive. A negative, that one's hard.
Well, that's good.
Good to hear. That makes me happy.
Right, I'm sure that's good to hear. I don't know. Time with sources is a little rough, but I wouldn't even call that a negative. That's just kind of the name of the game type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But time with sources have always been something that I have issues with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't we all?
Yeah.
So obviously you don't want to be a journalist after.
Right.
But how has being a journalist here at the Guardian kind of helped shape what you want to do, or just kind of maybe your goals overall?
I actually thought about potentially looking into getting like a journalism certificate so that I could help with like a school paper eventually, like in high school.
That would be incredible.
But if we're talking about like the less kind of serious thing, being at the Guardian has really helped my APA style. A lot of people don't realize that education is technically a science when it comes to writing, so you have to write a lot of AP, and I do not think I'd be as good, because you don't get taught AP like that.
I was just going to say that I did not learn APA format until I came here.
Yeah.
I just stuck with MLA in high school. I knew of APA from like my friends in other like science-based classes, but as like a more creative type of person, you just stuck with MLA and turned in your essays and went about your day. So I agree with you on the APA formatting thing. Definitely.
The Guardian has definitely forced me to get really good with APA.
Yes, for sure.
I know I like sometimes am writing in AP format for like my creative pieces on accident. I'm like not putting the Oxford commas, or I'm like for not doing contractions, and I'm like, why does this sound so bad?
Right.
Maybe because it's not supposed to be news.
I have definitely gotten like notes on my stuff that is creative. They're like, hey, this is an APA. It's not MLA. And I'm like, oh crap, my bad.
Sorry.
Flip the switch.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's a hard one to switch.
There's so many rules that are kind of similar too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So APA.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then to kind of end off our little about the G segment, do you have any memories or just like big accomplishments that you want to reflect on and share?
As a whole, I'm pretty proud of a lot of the stuff that I've put out with the Guardian, and just how far I've come.
Yeah.
The other day I read my very first article, which was the FAFSA deadline changing. Like back in 2023, and I was like, ooh. But I'm very proud of where I've come with the Guardian as far as like writing. As far as most proud, I really liked when we did the live election thing with the radio station. That was like the most that I've gotten out of my shell and been with the Guardian, and it was really fun.
I wish I would have got to see that.
I know, I wish I
One
would
year.
too.
I was 1 year too early?
Yeah.
Or too late? Too late.
It was pretty fun. We stayed, I think, until like midnight is when we were like, okay, we're done. We're going home.
I was going to say, Britt mentioned that one too as one of her most favorite memories.
Yeah, that was really fun. It was really fun.
Awesome. Okay, well, can move on to our next segment, which is kind of the bulk of our show, is talking about Student Press Freedom Day. Yeah, and so February 26th, which is this Thursday, so when this is on the radio, it was yesterday. When this is on YouTube, it was last week. Yeah, 4 days ago. But it is something that is very important to all three of us at this table because it keeps us doing what we do and what we love to do and bringing truth to the students and the community in Dayton and Wright State as a whole. So, Student Press Freedom Day is a national... from their website. A national moment to stand up for press freedom and recognize the essential role that student journalists play in their communities. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about why like having kind of a free, open voice like in your journalist kind of makes a difference?
At least the way I look at it, I think it's really important that journalists are allowed to speak freely, because ultimately journalism is like, I want to say, other than like activism and things like that, in a way I feel like journalism is activism, but like I feel like journalism is like the front line of like, this is what's happening and just holding people accountable in a way. And it's not always about holding people accountable, but I think it's important that students are able to, have this free speech and things like that, just so like it's able to be like a voice and like hold the people like accountable. I keep using that word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And just kind of be like, hey, this is not cool.
Yeah.
It's really nice to be part of.
Absolutely. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that so many things like happen behind the scenes, like in schools and communities that like don't technically like have to be like put out. Like they are able to hide it in a way, and it's without like journalism, without like local journalism, student journalism, a lot of things wouldn't get out until a problem was started or something like that.
Exactly.
So it's a way to kind of not catch things, but like
keep people in the know.
Yeah, keep people in the know of what's happening. Like, hey, your school's spending this much on this. Did you know your money was going there?
Right.
Or like,
they're not
yeah, exactly. They're not going to send you a bill like, hey, we spent 50% of your money here.
Yeah.
But without a lot of journalism, without a lot of journalists, a lot of that information would just go unknown.
Right. The story's not being told.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know a lot in the past, Sarah, our advisor, shared with me, like, how many stories, like, the Guardian broke first and that kind of thing. And that's very exciting to know that, like, us as students, like, this is a fun podcast, but, like, we do make a difference in the community, like, what we have the ability
1,000%.
to.
Yeah. Even just, like, recently with how much our content and articles have reached other people with all of the things that are happening, not just politically, but just in all different aspects. The story, I feel like things have been getting reached out to people more. People are starting to repost our content more, share more of their opinions. A lot of people are more vocal online, which is what we want. We want the freedom of speech and press and all of that to be shared throughout.
I also think, too, we kind of forget about when we put stuff out as journalists, just the potential scope of it. For, like, example, I mean, it's a Dayton community, but, like, my CT, the first thing she said was, like, I seen you wrote for a newspaper, because they can just look up my name and it's, like, the first thing that comes up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember specifically with the election, I was covering most of the political stuff at the time, because news, political, yada yada. And my uncle was like looking on like a like news thing that like populates all type of news, and like we like popped up, and it's like international news too. And he's like, "Hey, you're like on the cover of this website," and I'm like, "What?" Got very self-conscious, but I think that's I definitely think that's something we also kind of forget sometimes, is that you as students have a voice. You can share that voice.
Yeah.
Theoretically, no one should stop you.
Yeah.
1,000%.
I thought it was really incredible that the ICE protest that they that they put on I'm blanking on what group did it. Ohio Student Association?
I believe so.
They put that protest on, and me and Britt reported on it, and that first reporting story reached 100,000 views.
Goodness.
Got 100,000 views on Facebook. And so that was something that those students didn't, they were just protesting.
Right.
They were walking out, they were just using their voice. Their voice got a lot farther than what they thought it was going to be. So that's also a really cool thing, too, that we, like, as journalists, we can move other people's voices.
Yes.
Right.
Past.
To amplify it to let them reach other platforms and more people.
Definitely.
Because obviously people on campus knew that was happening. They can see, like, look out your window, you can see the protest. But, like, if it wasn't for us, so many people would have had no idea.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of, like, parents, families, different things. And then also seeing, I think it's fun when, like, alumni comments on our things, but that's off topic. But,
this is off the record.
Yeah, but they still are in the know of things, and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think, too, that that's kind of important, because alumni also donate, and they were students, so they're continuing to give their money, and it just kind of goes back to, you were a student or you are a student, you should have a voice, have a say
that
almost.
connection is always there.
Absolutely. So this, every Student Press Freedom Day has like a little theme. This year is Resilience in Action. So celebrating the way that student journalists pivot, push forward, and raise their voices, even as censorship, intimidation, and legal threats escalate. So I know you've kind of had some experience of having to, just that reaction, having to be resilient as a student journalist. and being forced to push to get the answers and the documents you deserve. So do you want to talk maybe a little bit about your experience with that?
So a lot of pushback I've had was mainly in years previous, and it connects a lot to politics because public university, we get funding from the government, things like that. If I had to pick a most recent story, I was having some issues at first with getting what I need as far as like the crime log goes.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, I would like to say they've been very great since. It's
absolutely.
to the point they ask me my name and what I need, and like it's in my inbox like 30 minutes later. But at first, for a second, there was a little bit of a push, and I'm appreciative that they're, so good now, but that was definitely a little bit of a recent hurdle.
Yeah.
But,
and that was a hurdle because those are public records.
Yeah.
And so really the problem with you getting pushback is that those are open for anyone, no matter media, no matter any student or parent or person from down the street should be able to walk in and get those. So the fact that anyone were to deny them to you because you had presented yourself as a journalist is something like that kind of goes with this, like, that they want to kind of break that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like the stereotype of, like, journalism and, like, going in and have, like if you, like, going in and presenting yourself as a journalist, you're already perceived as some way. So that's an issue in itself when you're trying to get sources and connections with people.
Yeah. People always think, like, at least when I've, like, had some conversation with different sources, that, like, I'm trying to, like, catch them in a lie or, like, trying to just, like, twist their words, which is not at all.
Exactly.
We're here to tell the truth. That's the whole point.
A good journalist would never manipulate words or quotes or anything like that. So I always think that that's interesting, that that's a stereotype. At least any experience that I've had with, like, our team and then local journalists at Dayton Daily and all over, like, they're very respectful about your source. You're giving me the facts. I'm going to give just those same facts.
I also think kind of what aids with that, I've learned over my 3 years of doing this now, I don't think people realize just how many procedures there really are to kind of getting certain things. There are certain, like, if you go to a meeting, sometimes you gotta step out for a little bit, and, like, that's legally allowed, and it's frustrating, but I think that that's something sometimes people don't realize that journalists know, because there's been a few times I've run into that, and I'm like, I'm aware how this works. This is my 3rd year doing it.
Yeah, and they might be, like, a little rude, like, you gotta leave now. Like,
and I'm like,
it's okay, I'll go. Yeah.
I'll be over here.
Yeah.
Waiting.
Yeah, I've had that experience too, and it's very interesting, like, that we don't have, like, a lot of trust, which I don't know where that stems from.
And ultimately, I'm a Wright State student too.
Yeah.
I don't want anything negative to happen on campus.
No.
But if something's happening and I'm reporting on it, as long as you're telling the truth, we're good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I go into almost all of my interviews.
Absolutely.
All I want is just, like, the truth of the situation. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah. I don't care if it's one way or another. I'd rather, like, I mean, as like, amazing as bad articles or, like, controversial or, like, intense things get clicks, at the end of the day, we are still Wright State students.
Course.
Why would we want to like, catch, like, something bad? Yeah.
Right.
We'd rather everything be rainbows and ponies, but the reality is that it's not. And so if we know about that, then everybody on campus deserves to know about that.
1,000%. Especially with the crime log.
Yeah.
Like, that definitely keeps people in the know, just for their own personal safety, that I feel like I wouldn't know if I didn't read the crime by log of course.
Yeah.
And I would, again, love to reiterate, ever since they've been fantastic.
Yeah. Yes.
But it was definitely that first time, it was kind of like, actually, legally.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
it could have always just been, not knowledge, but that's another thing that people need to, kind of,
lack of understanding.
yeah, educate themselves that us as journalists, we also have certain rights. Like, you can't also deny us certain things that you wouldn't deny the public to.
I was about to say, I definitely kind of want to give the person that gave me pushback a little bit of benefit of the doubt, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't know if they didn't know or whatever, but they've been great since. But that first time, I'm trying to reiterate.
Yes, absolutely.
But that first time, it was a little rough, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, there was one more. Oh, okay, so yeah, and kind of going off of news, we recently you have a new addition to the Guardian kind of content stream. You wanna hard launch your thing?
I'm just gonna throw it on out there. I am officially hosting a radio show for the Guardian.
Yay!
It's
so
called
exciting.
The Guardian on the Air. Very simple. It's from 5 to 6 on Mondays, and it is done on the radio show, WWSU
106.9.
106.9. Long day. I've been up since 5:30
I was gonna say, you entered that sentence with, hopefully someone finishes this.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, but school radio station, 5 o'clock on Mondays. We'll be covering things that are just posted from the Guardian. We'll be posting Dayton news, Ohio news, things like that. And I also have a small little fun section planned with just regular other news, so pop culture things.
Yay!
It's going to be for an hour, so yeah, definitely check that out. It starts March 9th.
Yay!
Monday, March 9th.
So excited.
I am really, really excited for that.
I'm so excited.
So that's if news is your thing and podcast, I recommend you listen to both, obviously.
You definitely should.
But, oh no, we lost a light.
No! I don't want to think of that as a bad omen.
I know.
My portable charger probably died.
Oh, okay.
Alright, well.
That's better than
okay.
the alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so if you're not much of a podcast person, or me and Macie annoy you, I understand. Definitely check out the news radio station.
Yeah.
But of course, I recommend you listen to both.
You should listen to both.
Yes.
Definitely.
I mean, we're biased. Which
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be in a newsroom, but this is off the record, so.
Exactly.
Okay. Any final thoughts on student journalism in general?
I was just gonna say, sitting here talking about it, especially with your new news segment coming up with the radio station, I do just kind of want to touch on the I feel like there's a I don't know if discrimination is the right word, but people in this type of setting, I feel like people don't always give, what is what I'm trying to say? In a podcasty type of setting, journalism is kind of it's kind of downplayed. Is what I'm trying to say. You're just a podcast host. I feel like people don't think of you. I feel like entertainment journalists people don't think of as much. And as somebody who wants to go into that field, I feel like that needs more recognition because entertainment is still news as well.
Absolutely.
Media, pop culture, all of that is still news that needs to be reported on. There's a lot happening in that area. And podcast and vocally spreading news is just as important as written news that gets posted. So I just feel like there needs to be a little bit of a segment on that as well because there's not a lot of recognition for that. When people think journalists, you think typewriter,
typewriter,
New York Times articles, which I'm not trying to downplay those at all. I'm just there's so much more to the position, journalism is very broad, especially now, and I think all of it deserves the same amount of recognition.
Especially the time that we are in.
Yeah,
because a lot of people, there's like such a gap in where people are receiving their news too, and they don't get them from such credible sources like TikTok. But
I love TikTok news.
don't say that.
We don't love TikTok.
Okay.
This is what I
but
meant to say, but it sounded like I said love.
No, I was gonna say don't encourage
credible.
that. Yeah.
No.
Which as journalists in any form, like it's we try to use like TikTok and like reels and podcasts and talk shows and things like that to also engage people, but not everybody has like the credentials of
1,000%.
Not saying that like we have like credentials, but like that you need credentials to spread news, but you should be fact checking, and that's something that at Wright State we make sure we're fact checking. Like never is something ever published without being looked at by multiple people.
Right.
And that's something like anyone can just go on TikTok and be like, yeah, there was this, and this happened. Bet you didn't know about that, and freak everybody out like, oh my gosh, that all happened. And so I feel like that also downplays because they're like, oh, they're just in the media, they're just like posting little things. Like, no, I know what we're doing.
Especially when it's posted on media sites, people are like, oh, it's just like, like what you said, it's very downplayed. But on the flip side of that, like journalism and using social media, especially nowadays, is also very important because it's a way for us to grow our audience. We reach other demographics, younger demographics, people in our more demographic who primarily use social media and who a lot of people use social media to get their form of news. So it's important to have credible sources like actual news stations, to have those accounts to be that resource for people instead of getting their news from some random on TikTok or like just did you see this happen, but like where are you fact checking?
I also definitely think it's kind of a double-edged sword because some really great things have happened with news being published on social media. And then there's a lot of people not fact checking. Kind of silly stuff becomes like big national things, like the university peeing incident, which we also covered. But I just think when it comes to social media, ultimately I think that journalism on social media is like good, and I definitely think there is, obviously, because I'm now doing a talk show, there's definite room for all kinds of journalism. I just think with journalism, it's very important that we actually have credible sources.
Yes. Credibility and spreading the truth in the news is what, at the end of the day, what journalism is about, and it's very important that everyone reiterates that in what we do.
I'm also of the camp, too, and this is a little bit more off the record. If you don't know what you're talking about and you refuse to research it, do not talk about it. Leave it be. Just, you don't have to have an opinion on everything that's unresearched. Just, it takes 2 seconds to Google search. You don't have to turn it into a thing and spread it around, and because that's how misinformation happens, and then that's how bad journalism gets a bad name and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's a very good
I would
point.
say that's like
that
the biggest like obstacle, like not the biggest probably, but one of the biggest is misinformation.
For sure, especially because I feel like nowadays everyone tries to have an opinion, and everyone should have a voice and should have an opinion, but if you are uneducated and you don't know the full extent of the information, like you said, you don't need to be sharing it.
Yeah, at least publicly.
It's okay to say I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
And part of me feels like, in a way, not to be a joker, this is society. But I feel like society has made it okay to, like, not be able to say no. Like, you could just say, I don't know, I am so sorry, I'm still researching this. You don't have to have an opinion. Yeah.
That's definitely something that I've been realizing and learning throughout just, like, my growing alone, but also, like, being here. If I don't know news or whatever's happening to a full extent, I learned, I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like, I don't
Right.
have to share on this topic. Like, I can give
You
that
can
to
also
somebody
learn
else.
new information, too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people just don't.
I know.
Right.
That's one thing, like, coming here, how much that I realized that I was consuming so much, like, fake or
news.
misinformation, like, via TikTok or anything like that. Or, like, some, like, people I follow on Instagram, like, their reposts, I'm like, that doesn't seem right. And I'll, like, research and it's not right. I'm like, oh, you're reposting something that's not factual.
Right.
And it creates it, like, once one person posts it, then it just keeps going and going downhill. And I never really realized that until I realized, like, I got all my news from
Right.
the, like,
Yeah.
social media until I
Me too,
started
though.
coming
Yeah.
to the Guardian.
Yeah,
Especially-
it's a switch that you don't realize until you're in a place like this, and where we do focus on reporting the truth and the news, and then you realize just how much of what you're consuming is not credible, and
Yeah.
just how much
Right.
is just there for views.
Yeah. I remember one time I had pitched, I saw on Instagram that, like, the Dayton Metro Library was getting their funding cut. And so I pitched, like, I saw that morning. I was like, oh, that's a good one. I'm going to pitch that. And one of the Dayton Daily investigative reporters happened to be sitting in our meeting. And he was like, nope. I didn't even finish the pitch. And he was like, nope, that's not true. They're just saying that to actually get more funding. No funding is being cut from them. And it wasn't just me, it was multiple of our writers had actually.
I'll be real, I think I also pitched it.
Because it was by the Dayton
yeah.
Metro Library had posted it.
Okay,
and so that seems
Yeah.
like a credible source, right? But it, like,
The source.
it wasn't. And so it was like something like that. I was like, oh my gosh. And of course I had to be the first one to pitch it. And that was like my second round of pitches here.
No.
And I was like, oh,
The way she was
my
at the
confidence,
meeting, too, of
yeah.
all meetings,
I know.
Like, that's
No,
insane.
I've definitely, especially when I first started. Now, honestly, angles always change. Stuff comes up, you learn new information. Again, it's good to learn new info. There's been a few times, at least in my first year, where I had pitched something, was like, I got this, and then I got information, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
It's a completely different story. And then I'd, like, always, like, slack the editor-in-chief at the time. I love Alexis. She was so great. I'd be like, I'm so sorry, Alexis. And she'd be like, it's fine. It happens.
That's
but-
news for you.
Yeah.
It happens. But
Yeah, I would say, like, most pitch stories are not written how they're pitched. Like, I would get, like, and
Yeah.
that is totally, because if you're stuck to, like, this is how it's going, like, you should always pitch something with, like, this is how
An
I think
idea
I'm
in
gonna
mind.
go
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
And then once you get into it and it's like, oh, actually this is more interesting under the scope, then you should always, like, pivot.
Yeah, if
Because
I
that's where the
remember
news is.
Correctly, you brought up, like, a question like that when we had
yeah.
a Dayton Daily reporter come in, and you asked, like, what to do when your angle changes, like, when you're writing an article. Yeah, because that stuff does happen.
It does.
Guess you just have to ride
You
with
have
it.
to
You have to
pivot.
And that's almost the nature of news sometimes. I also find sometimes I'll pitch something and a lot of my pitches are based off of tips or informations I get through meetings. Sometimes it'll be a huge deal to whoever's talking, and don't get me wrong, feelings are feelings, but by the time I get into it, there's, like, nothing to actually write about. And
It was upplayed a lot.
yeah, so then by the time I get to it, I'm like, okay, well, we're going to have to kind of pivot a little bit, but that also happens a lot with news, so.
Yeah, ever evolving, for sure.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we good on student journalism? All right.
I think we covered the...
Yay. We love our student journalists. We love our
Yes.
local journalists. We love journalists that are dedicated to spreading the truth and nothing but the truth and supporting their communities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Support student journalism, everyone.
Yes.
Happy Student Press Freedom Day.
Yay! Okay, do we want to... Well, next week is spring break, so
Yes.
I guess this is where I should say we won't be here next week.
Oh, yeah.
Don't expect a video.
Yeah, no episode next week.
I'm going to be in Florida. Oh, well, I guess I just, like, hard lunch, what we're about to talk about. Spring break plans. I'm going to be in Florida. That's my plan.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
You should have went last, because I think I'm pretty much going to be staying home. Staying home. I'm going to catch up. There's so many shows that I have to watch for
Tell
Kylie's
Me
request.
Lies.
I will be watching Tell Me Lies. I will be watching Traders. I also want to watch Heated Revelry, but I don't have access to that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah! Bridgerton! The part 2, thank you! The
That's
part
what I'm
2
doing.
of season 4 is coming out on Student Press Freedom Day.
Aw.
So, I'm so excited. It has been my favorite season so far, so I'm going to be watching so much TV. I'm going to try to get out of this reading slump
Oh,
by rereading some things, and I'm going to do lots of writing. I haven't written a lot recently, so I'm going to take some time to do that and just, yeah.
Awesome.
Chill. Oh, my mom, I'm putting this on the record so that if I don't show up with one, you guys can all, no, don't attack my mom. I love my mom. But she promised that I would finally be getting my tattoo that has been going for like a year and a half. So if I don't show up back the next episode with a tattoo, you'll never hear the end of it.
I'm going to put a reminder to where we talk about that in our
Where are you
tattoo
getting
podcast.
it?
Like here.
Oh, I have one there.
Yes.
It hurts.
I just saw
It really hurts.
this is
there.
why TikTok news is not good, guys. Because
Did they tell you it didn't hurt?
Didn't hurt.
See,
But
I
that
got...
was straight from a tattoo artist, so is
Oh.
that credible?
Do they have a tattoo there?
I don't know. I guess it depends on the person. I also have a high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
But like,
fair.
yeah, definitely here or maybe lower. I haven't, somewhere on this part of my arm.
Yeah.
Do you have a tattoo there?
Yeah, I have one right here.
Ooh,
My
that looks
cat.
painful.
Oh,
Did it
it
hurt?
wasn't too painful.
Really?
I got it done at an anime convention.
Oh, wow.
I go to GalaxyCon in Columbus, not anymore, but I used to go to GalaxyCon in Columbus in December, and they have like professional tattooers that go there.
That's so fun.
They do anime tattoos, and one night I looked at my sister. I was like, I have the money. Let's just do it.
Just do
Yeah.
it.
That's how that happened.
Yeah. Mine that's right here, this was the second worst hurting, but
Where's the worst?
on my shin.
Oh, yeah.
that
I
hurts
just got
so
that one,
bad.
too.
Oh,
My
it hurts
cousin
so bad.
has one there, and it's unfinished because it was so painful.
Yeah.
I was squeezing Bree, who's just here. I was squeezing her hand so bad, and she just had to keep reminding me to breathe, and I was like, it hurts.
So worth it, though. The
Yeah.
tattoo looks really good.
Thank you. it hurt. But this one hurt a lot, but we went, like, it was by a, like, what was it? A Halloween flash sale.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so it was like the day of, we were like, maybe we should just go get these. They're
always
like
wanted to
$25.
do that.
Was
I
it
loved it.
Was it Halloween or was it the Friday the 13th deal?
No, it was Halloween.
Okay.
Because Friday the 13th was like just recently. I got these back in October. Yep,
Okay,
it was
yeah.
Halloween.
I've always
Um,
wanted to do that.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
But I got them like shaded. They're just two little paw prints, but I got them shaded in. And so I was bleeding so bad. I have another, this was my second tattoo. So it was like a little shocking. My other little one was, a fine line, and this is obviously not a fine line. So the difference, this felt like a little tickle, and this felt like I was like getting like stabbed. And it hurt so bad, and I was bleeding really bad.
Especially
But
the shade that kid. I don't think
Yeah.
I would ever.
Yeah.
the
Just
shading
because
made it worse,
that,
and the
like,
shading in
hurt.
my shin was the worst part.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
I noticed the color on my tattoo hurt a lot more
Yeah.
than the black. They say that, but again, I found that online, so I was like, ooh,
You
maybe.
never know.
And it
Yeah.
did.
Placebo. I know. I
Yeah.
told myself it wasn't going to hurt on my shin, and it definitely did. But
I don't got that kind of
Yeah.
willpower.
I'm surprised I did. I kept looking down, and it was like coming together, and so I was like, okay,
Right. You're like,
I
can
see
do
the
this.
vision.
I can do this.
I can do it.
I see the end. I see the light
Yeah.
at the end of the tunnel.
And then the itchiness after, that was the worst.
That I'm not excited about. I feel like that's gonna be like worse than getting the actual tattoo.
You just have to be careful. I don't know if you ever accidentally scratched yours, like in the middle of the night or something.
Oh,
Like
I'm
when you're
scared.
like, when you forget that you have a fresh tattoo
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like the best itch of your life and you're like, oh my god. I've been scratching that the entire time.
Yeah.
So you just have to make sure you do that.
Yeah. I will be careful for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be fun though.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. It's matching with my mom and my Mimi.
Oh, that's cute.
So
Is it their fast? Is it their first tattoos
It's my
too?
Mimi's first tattoo.
Ooh.
My mom has a bunch of other ones, but it wasn't originally supposed to be a matching thing. My Mimi's thing is like dragonflies.
Oh.
So I was just gonna get one for her anyways. And then when my Mimi, it was her 70th birthday, and she was like, I want to get a tattoo. And so then we were like, and she was going to get a dragonfly, and I was like, well, I'm going to get a dragonfly for you anyway. We might as well do it together. And then my mom, wanted to join in too.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah,
cute.
I know. If I go and tell this great story and this promise and this whole thing.
Your mom's
and
going to feel guilty enough to do it now.
Don't come back with a tattoo. Yeah, because I will be home when we're watching this episode.
Yeah. Just stare at her the entire time.
And be like, you better come through with this one. But
okay, what are you doing?
Lots of writing. A lot of
Yes.
interesting writing.
I'm so excited for your BuzzFeed.
I know.
I'm really looking forward to them.
Other than that, I'm just gonna chill, hang out. I think me and my mom are talking about maybe going to the thrift store. Other than that, it's pretty boring for me. I gotta work that weekend, so
That's
I'll
fair.
be chilling out at the mall with the emo people.
You're gonna be in Florida.
Yes,
Yeah.
me and my roommate are making I'm making my first ever road trip. Obviously I've been on a ton of road trips, yes, but I am the one behind the wheel, so I am a little nervous. But I'm really looking forward to it because I love road trips, but I get really car sick, and I always have had to sit in the back seat. And that's the worst. And so now I get to drive. I don't get car sick when I'm driving.
Yes.
So I'm like, this will be fun. But also I think it's not going to be I think by hour 6, I'm going to be like, wow, we're only halfway done.
This is just a lot of staring at the highway.
Yeah. But we're going to a place that I've used to vacation to a lot when I was younger. And so I haven't been there in 3 or 4 years. So I'm really excited to go see
What's
it.
it called?
Flagler Beach.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's
I got a
very
bunch
small.
of family in Florida.
Yeah, very small. It's by St. Augustine. So I'm going to my favorite restaurant in St. Augustine, Osteen's. They have the best fried shrimp ever. I'm so excited. But yeah, and my roommate's never been there, and so yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
So
Little
sweet.
girls trip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take lots of pictures.
Yes.
Totally.
We'll probably end up
Lots of
getting a tattoo, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, yes, do it.
Because there's a tattoo place in walking
Nice.
distance. Everything's in walking distance, but I mean, it's in, ridiculous walking distance.
Yeah.
Across the street.
You can't even, the beach is right there, the little convenience store, and then
Oh,
restaurant,
yeah.
tattoo shop.
Yeah.
So it's,
Spend a day
hard
at the
not to
beach,
pass it.
Get some dinner and then go get a tattoo.
Yeah. But, yeah. Okay. Do you
On
want
that
to do...
note, yeah, we are reaching the end, so it's time for a high and a low of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And I always go first. I'm just realizing, and crap, I haven't thought about my high and my low. Okay.
Get to it.
Let me think. Today, honestly, my low today is that I've just been really tired and I'm lacking motivation recently, which I know we shouldn't rely on motivation because it's fleeting. I know. But
Man, motivational there.
I listen to a lot of self-help. That I kind of outed myself there, but it's true. I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, but motivation does help. So I am ready for spring break for sure. My last class of the day, it's a sexuals diversities class, and I have it with my 2 best friends. And that is always just really fun. I like that class in general, and then having it with them always makes for good, fun conversation. So that was my high today. And I had a Doc Poppy.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Was it good?
It was very good. That's one of my favorite flavors. Poppy is the only prebiotic soda that I like that has the
actual
pop
soda
flavors. Yeah, the other ones I want to stick with the fruity, fun ones. But Yep.
Fair.
All right.
What's your
Ashley?
high?
Okay. A high for me. Trying to say something other than getting the radio station stuff settled. I get to go home to my cat.
Yay!
Love
Very
that.
fun. Love Delilah Jean.
It's such a cute name.
I love her so much. And then I guess a low for today. I entirely forgot about a lesson plan assignment I have due tonight at midnight, so I gotta go home and speed and finish that up.
At least it's not past due, though.
It's not,
Yeah,
no.
I remembered
It's
before,
just-
which is good.
Due at midnight, so.
You just gotta really
Right.
lock in now.
Right.
Like sometimes like those I'm like, man, I wish I would have just remembered like after the fact and just been like, darn, now I have to
Now
do
you
it.
have
I'm
to do
aware.
it.
I also have like worksheets to make for it too, so me and
Oh.
Canva are gonna be like this tonight.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's fun. Okay, my high and low. My high is that we had a writing sprint in my novel writing class, and I broke 1,000 words there, and then I came back here and was like really feeling it, and I got to 2,000.
Heck yeah,
So
girl.
now I'm at 15,000 for my manuscript, which is the longest that I've ever had like one piece be so far. So I'm really excited.
That's so exciting.
Have to have 17,000 done by Thursday, but I don't want to talk about it. That's
You're so
tomorrow.
close.
Tomorrow's
The way
problem.
you're going, you're gonna get it.
I hope so.
You got it, girl.
Then my low of the day was I went back to my orthopedic surgeon.
Oh.
You're gonna need surgery.
Yeah.
The one acupuncture didn't do it.
Yeah, the one acupuncture didn't do it.
Darn.
I was not doing that again. That was so uncomfortable.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. There was another, like, I could do, like, the gel injections, but she was like, probably won't work. So, like,
So just
and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that, like, the thought of having gel stuck into my knee,
Oh.
like,
yeah, it stays there.
it stays there. Yeah, it's
Oh.
like, I don't think you're going to like this word, but I'm going to say it.
Say, huh?
Yeah, lubricating. Yeah, I could tell you weren't gonna like that. That's a word that you don't like,
You'll
but
have a
it like
built-in Neato
it like
on your
yes,
knee.
yes. It's literally like you take this consistency goes into the knee. It makes me want to throw up actually. So
I'm so sorry.
The
yeah.
vision I got when
Yeah.
you said the word and the. Yeah.
That's all that I was thinking about when she was explaining it, and I was like, yeah, there's no way. I'd rather you cut me open than we do that.
Coming
Yeah.
from someone who's had surgery, been cut. It's just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already had one before.
Oh, yeah,
like one
girl,
knee surgery
then, yeah.
before. We can do it.
Your poor knee.
Yeah,
I'm so
but.
sorry.
Yeah, that would be my low. But yeah,
Right.
I think we're all good.
Well, that wraps up the end of this episode. So just remember, guys, to read the G, and obviously you're watching off the record, so good job there.
Keep doing it.
Yeah. Follow, like, and subscribe. Do all the things. We have new episodes on. Well, this one comes out on Friday on WWSU. Oh, they always come out on Friday. What am I doing? On WWSU 106.9 at 11:30 to 12:30. And then we have video form on the Wright State Guardian's YouTube at 6:30 p.m. on Mondays. So thank you guys so much for watching or listening. And now we are off the record.
Bye.
Bye.